Hello everyone, I cordially welcome you all to another video from the React tutorial series, and in this video we are going to discuss on constructors in React. So what is a constructor? In class-based object-oriented programming language, constructor is a special method which is used to declare an object of that class. The constructor gets invoked while creating an object of that class from another class. The constructor might or might not accept arguments to initialize member variables. Unlike member methods, constructors don't have a return type and supports overloading, okay? So if you're coming from an object-oriented programming language background, you will know concepts of class, objects, constructors, etc. But as it is out of the scope for this video, I will just touch upon those subjects to let you know about them. So in object-oriented programming language, you have class and objects. So class are basically the blueprints of an object. You can say class tells how the object should be created, what member variables and methods it should have, and how that object should behave. And objects are basically instances of that class. Basically, objects are carved out of those class, okay? So in class, in any object-oriented programming language, you have definition of constructors. So constructors are basically used to create an object out of that particular class. So in any programming language, constructors are basically used to accept some arguments and assign those arguments to the member variables. So constructors in any programming language might or might not accept arguments. It depends on your use cases, okay? So likewise in React also we have the concept of constructor, okay? So in React, you might ask that where we use constructor. So if you remember, in React, components are mainly of two types, class components and function components. So constructor is highly used in class components. They are not used in functional components. So let us see how constructors are beneficial in React. So constructor in React, the usage and guidelines for constructor remains quite same in case of React, but it has to be remembered that constructors are only useful in class components and not in function components. The constructor for a React class is called before the component is mounted. So in React, constructors are mainly used for two purposes. It is used for initializing the local state of the React component by assigning an object to this dot state. Secondly, it is used for binding event handler methods in React that occur in our component, okay? So when you work with React class components, use constructors mainly for two purposes. One, to assign local state variable to this dot state, and secondly, to bind event handler methods within the constructor. So let us see an example. Okay, let's go to the code. So I hope you can see the code on my screen. So first of all, here we have two components. One is the parent component, that is the app component. Another one is the child component, which is the profile page component. Okay. In the parent component, I have done very simple thing. First of all, I have defined a dummy object which will have a name, age and designation, and have passed that object as props to the child profile page component. Our main work lies in the profile page child component. So in this component, we have defined our profile page component using class components, as you can see. So first of all, we have imported React. Thereafter, we have created an interface associate which tells what type of members this interface should have. Basically name, which will be of type string, age, which will be of type number, and designation, which will be of type string. So when we write class components, it should extend from the component class in React, and here you can pass two arguments. The first one is for the interface or the type of data for associate, and second one is for the type of data for your state variable. If you use React using JavaScript, you might not need this, but when you use TypeScript, this has to be specified because TypeScript is a statically typed programming language, unlike JavaScript, okay? So here we have defined our constructor which accepts the props which is of type associate. If you remember, here also we are passing name, age and designation. And here also we have defined name, age and designation in our associate interface. So in constructor, we receive these props and we call the super method which passes these props, okay? So if you are not aware about the super method, we are going to discuss in one of our upcoming videos. But for now, just remember, when you pass the props to the super, you actually have access to use these props. Then we defined our local state variable this dot state, and the default state we set as is online equal to true. So by default the value of is online will be true, and thereafter we have defined an event, handle event, which will see if the state online is true or false. If it is true, it will set it as false, and if it is false, it will set the state variable as true. And for this we have to bind this function within the constructor. So just to call this function from within the JSX, we need to bind this function to this keyword within the constructor. So if you are coming from an object-oriented programming language, you know this is used to access the member variables and member methods. Okay. Within this render method, we have const name age designation from this dot props. So basically from the props received, we destructure our members and we just show them on the UI. Thereafter, we show the status. So if the status is online, that is, if this is true, it will show online. Otherwise, it will show offline. And on click of this button, this handle event method should be triggered. So what should we do? When this code will be loaded on the browser, on the UI, we will see the name, age, designation and status as online. When we will click on this button repeated times, for once it will become offline and another time it will become online. It will just toggle between the two states. Okay. So now let's run the code and see if it's working. So we are writing npm start. Let's wait for some time until our browser opens. So as you can see, we can see the name, age and designation over here and the status is set. So now if we click on this toggle user status, you will see offline, online, offline, online. Okay. So this is very easy in terms of functionality, but the main motto of this video is to teach you that how within constructors we can assign state variable, and secondly how we can bind methods within the constructor. Okay. So I hope this is clear to you. So now let's go back to the slide. So I hope you like this video. If you like this video, feel free to hit the like button and subscribe to our channel. We are going to bring up more videos in the future. And for any queries, doubts, feedbacks or suggestions, feel free to post them in the comment section. We are going to reply. So thank you for now. See you in the next video. Bye.